Okay, good morning. So what we're going to do today is we're going to review a little bit. I've got my ruler here, I've got a pencil, I've got an eraser, and I also have this eraser because I like having this smaller point. Now, if you don't have a ruler, you can simply use any straight edge. You could use a magazine, anything you want, cereal box, doesn't matter. If you don't have access to a pencil and you have to do it in pen, you can still do your practice, but you really need a pencil for this. If it's mechanical or a regular pencil, it's not going to matter. If I have the option though, I always choose a regular pencil because I'm able to go lighter with it. Let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do is I wanted to back it up and just go over triangles or pyramids. So keep in mind, just to review, a shape is 2D, two-dimensional. That would be like a square, triangle, and a circle. A form is 3D. That means that would be like a cube, a pyramid, or a sphere. And you'll notice a sphere and a circle look pretty similar. The only thing that would be different is if one of them had value. Make it look more like it's got depth to it. Now, this is basically, so if we were in science class measuring, this would be volume, or sorry, this would be area, this would be volume. So again, if I said, hey, come over to my swimming pool, and I had a pool in my backyard, a pool would be a form. If you jumped into a pool, we have depth. Depth is that third dimension. So we have length, we have width, but then we also have depth. So it goes down into the pool. A shape, we only have length times width. And again, just a little science in here. So length times width equals area. And the area would be like if we were making a fence around our yard. It doesn't go, down into the ground, it's just around our yard. All right, let's go ahead and get started with actually making some pyramids. And again, we're going to start just like we do every time in 2-point with 2 vanishing points. Now, using those 2 vanishing points, I'm going to make a pyramid that is on eye line, or on the horizon, above the horizon, which would be worm's eye view, and below the horizon, which again would be bird's eye view. And we're going to do pyramids for all of these. So that's what I want you to try today. Just triangle shapes into pyramid or cone forms. Okay, so what we're going to do is first let's start on the horizon. I'm going to start with a vertical line. And you'll notice that this line goes both above and below the vanishing point. Now, it's very simple. All I'm going to do is this. Just like I was making a cube, but instead of the top going, I'm just going to connect my points. So a pyramid is really easy. Okay, now that's going to be the same pyramid if I go way down here, below my horizon. It's going to look the exact same. Again, I'm lining up my vanishing point to my corner, just like we've been doing. And then wherever I want to cut this off, I'm going to cut it off. And if it's a little longer, just bring that up. And you can see our pyramid. Now, this pyramid and this pyramid look a little different, but all that's happening is since we're lower from the horizon, our point is getting more extreme. So again, this is the same exact thing, but as we get lower and lower, this point is going to also look more and more steep. So if we were way down, you can see how the angle of this is going to change with the vanishing point. All right, above the horizon looks a little cooler. So what we're going to do is the same thing. Put one right here. And for this one, now what we can see is the bottom of the pyramid. And a pyramid is kind of a neat thing because we could have 3-sided pyramids or 4-sided pyramids. And we don't really know which pyramid we have here until we actually do it. So again, I'm going to just draw my lines and connect them. And basically this is everything we've done so far on these two pyramids. But the problem is where these lines point down, or these angles come down, this pyramid points up because it is above the horizon. So we're going to be able to see the bottom of it here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, if it's a four-sided pyramid, I'm going to take the corner here, just like we did on the cubes the other day, and I'm going to go to the opposite vanishing point. I'm drawing very, very lightly because some of this will get erased. I'm going to go from the opposite vanishing point to the corner. And again, where we have our actual lines meet, I will darken. And then I would erase. And again, if you don't have the ability to erase, that is okay. Just so long as you're getting it, because this is just practice still. And there you can see a pyramid with four sides. Let's do one more. Again, vanishing point to my corner, vanishing point to my corner. And this one I'm actually going to bring that up a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is I am simply going to go straight across and then bring my lines up. And there you can see a three-sided pyramid. Now again, I'll throw a little color on it just so you can see it. But it should be pretty clear. So here we have one side, here we have one side, here we have one side, and here we have one side. But now we have a major difference. So both of our pyramids look similar, and I'm doing the same amount of coloring, so they only have three visible sides. However, our brain knows that if we look at this, there is no back wall here, no back linear or vertical line. However, on this one, our brain does know, it makes the connection that there is another vertical line here. So if we were able to rotate this pyramid, we would be able to see that. All right, let's keep going. So what I'm going to do now is let's make that more visible. So I'm going to start here and here. And I'm going to start with a nice big vertical line. Oh, it's maybe a little too big. You can't see the whole thing on the screen. Let's shorten it up. And check the phone. Looks good. All right. So what I'm going to do is we're going to hollow this one out similar to the way we did, a little lower, similar to the way we did the other day with cubes. And again, I personally love doing perspective. I love hollowing them out. I think it's really cool to do the illusions. Now here's the thing. Is this a three-sided pyramid or a four-sided pyramid? You cannot currently tell from this angle. When it is below the horizon, you cannot tell. The only way we can make this visible is if this were clear, like if it was made from glass, or if we hollow it out. So let's do that. So if I use this bottom angle to go to the left vanishing point, I'm going to just bring this up a little bit, and you'll notice I like to put my pencil on there, rotate up, make a line. Now if that line were to continue, it would have hit right there. Because on this one, I'm going to line up the same, move my coffee cup, I'm going to do the same thing. So again, I'm going to go from here. And you'll notice I'm not drawing it all the way to the edge. That's because I don't want it to touch the edge. I want to make it like a window frame. Now the top is pretty simple. An angle is an angle is an angle. So if I'm going to have this angle here, I'm going to come in. And again, try to draw light. Because in perspective, You'll make a lot of eraser marks to begin with, but as you get it, you really won't make as many. Here's my angle. Notice I'm copying the angle because this isn't using vanishing points. Technically, even though it's angled, it is still my vertical line. Now, oops, shouldn't have used that eraser. Okay, so now you can see the inside, but there's no lines. Now, if we wanted to make this real simple, we could just go from the back here. We're going to line up these 2 points, and I'm going to do this very lightly because I actually want to make it a 4-sided. But if I just put a straight line from these corners, the outside edges, all of a sudden, bam, now we have a 3-sided pyramid. Okay, and you can see the bottom is a triangle. But if I want the bottom to be a square, it's going to be very reminiscent of how we made our cube. Now again, if you have not watched the cube video, you need to go back and do that. And if you have not quite gotten the cube video or mastered how to do it, that's okay. Again, perspective is one of those things that takes time. Okay, so again, I'm going to line up from my corner here, not my window, but my actual corner, because that's the edge of the form. And I'm going to make it go to this vanishing point. And it would just continue on. Now we don't need to draw it very dark because we're going to erase a lot of that. Again, I'm going to go from this corner here, the outside corner, not the inside corner, that's our window. And I'm going to do the same thing. And ever so slightly we got a corner there. Now if your corners line up right behind the line, that's okay. It's not going to hurt. It will look a little different, but it does work. So I'm going to erase that. And now we can actually see my, I'll color it in here in a minute. We can see the floor. And if we can see a corner, all we do is match the point at the top to the corner here. And we would draw a little line. And we see a very small corner of that. And now we can see that this is a 4-sided pyramid. And again, we did practice this the other day, but I wanted to really give you another shot at it. And again, if we did this, we're also going to have this would be red. And personal opinion, the 4-sided pyramid just looks so much better than the 3-sided. It's not that I think you couldn't have both, but if I were to pick one, I really want to make sure you know how to do a 4-sided base. Not only that, but it also helps you with understanding the cube. And when we go to do a composition using these, it would just make way more sense. Now, last thing. There are no holes here in the back windows. So instead of just, leaving it, let's go ahead and put some holes in. Now, you'll notice this bottom angle goes to the left vanishing point. So if we're going to put a hole in the back wall, like we did in the front two, I'm going to bring this up from the vanishing point. Again, it's an orthogonal line from the vanishing point. And I'm going to make my mark. And I don't think we'd even see it over there. Here, we're going to just match our existing angle to the peak. And again, our points, if that point's there, we're going to come down a little bit. Just can't see it with the ruler. And there's another angle. Now this one is back here, but we just don't see it. All right, let's do this one. Okay. And I'm going to color this back one in purple or violet here. And let's do yellow, a little complementary color. Violet and yellow contrast. Now, you'll notice I'm only coloring the interior, and I'm leaving those as negative space. So if I were to continue, which I'll try to do kind of quickly, I'm going to make this part blue. Let's make this part, again, we'll stick with the contrast, so we'll do orange over here. And you should really start seeing how the inside back walls now have holes in them. And the reason we would do this is, for example, if we wanted something going through this, okay? So let's say, and again I already colored it, but we'll just draw through it, it's okay. But let's say I did want something going from here. I would stop there, continue here, and continue there. Again, I'm going to go from the vanishing point, I'm going to come out. So what we're doing is we're creating overlapping. And then here, I'm going to go a little sliver this way. Again, lining up my vanishing point. Verticals remain vertical. I should be using my other pencil. And again, I'm going to connect my line from there, so this corner, all the way through overlap to there. And this one I am going to have to color real dark so we can see it. So let's make it dark. And what you should see is really a sense of overlapping and depth happening. So again, if it is in front of the item, we would color it. If it goes behind, like this pole, we're going to leave it alone. And I'm actually going to cut it off right here. Let's go ahead and erase that. And again, if I cut it off, I'm going to need one more line to a vanishing point, which is this guy. And there we go. Let's make the top brown. That's kind of dark. Can't quite cover that purple or violet. And we'll make the front dark green. And now you can see why it's going to matter with negative space. So we're able to actually pierce items. Alright, so this concludes our tutorial on making a pyramid, as well as putting something through it. Have a good day.